talking about our Christmas plans? Is that what
I
we're
guess.
gonna do?
I guess.
Okay. We didn't really
say anything.
No. Okay.
It's also episode 200.
Yeah. Which is sad. I kind of wish that episode 200 was the next one. Yeah. We'll just talk.
Yeah.
Cool.
Welcome to episode 200 of Coffee and Co-Read, your source for all things literary with Kristen.
And Catherine. Where we believe there's nothing better than a hot coffee and an awesome book. Join us for our virtual book club where we take one book a month and dive into all of the drama, adventure, and romance we can find. Hey, Kristen.
Hi, Catherine.
So, obviously, big deal, 200 episodes. You know, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever thought we'd do it.
Yeah, right?
That's a lie. It feels like it's been and it has been a long time. It's been like almost 5 years of our life that we have been recording and reading and talking about our favorite books. And it feels natural at this point.
Yeah, it does. I know there are some books that are a bit slower to get through.
Like this,
not pointing elbows at and like the writing the notes for it can be a bit harder because, you know, I know sometimes when I read a book, if I'm not feeling it in the moment, I'll lay it down and be like, I don't want to read this right now, but having to push through. And you know, it definitely means we're reading at least 12 books a year. That barely count as part of the books we read.
To be fair, I do appreciate that, like, you know, yes, I can be in a book slump, but I'm never truly in a book slump.
Yeah, because we're reading this.
Yeah.
As slumped as you are, you're still reading 100 pages a week, really.
Yes.
Is what a roundabout. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, you know. On average, maybe. Actually, that'd be kind of cool to get the stats of, like, maybe I'll do that for next week's. Just because next week's going to be a fun episode.
Yes. So it's our last episode of the year of 2025. So next week's going to be really fun because we're going to count down all the books we read this year. Not all of them. Yeah. Just the ones on the podcast. If we tried to count down every single book we read, we'd be here all day.
Yeah, I think in the past years we've done a top 10.
Yeah.
Even though we do 12 books. And this year I think we only did 11.
Yes, because we did Kingdom of Ash over the summer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have 11 books. And we do our top 10.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
It will be fun.
And then if I think of it between now and then, I'll get us some stats on the last 200 episodes. Which I think makes sense to do it at 201 because, like, you got to finish the 200 one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be pretty fun. In Canada, I guess, it's Boxing Day, the day that this is coming out, which is fun. I know that Boxing Day isn't really a thing everywhere.
No, and to be fair, I don't even know why. Like, what is Boxing Day even for? Like, what's it for?
That's a good question. What is Boxing Day? Oh, Jesus. So, Boxing Day is a holiday with roots in giving gifts to servants and the poor. Oh. Hence the boxes of food or money. Interesting.
Yeah, so here, everything is closed, not just for Christmas Day, but Boxing Day as well. So, like, apart from convenience stores, maybe, and gas stations, and, like, what do you call it?
Anything that would be closed on, like, they're all open on Christmas Day,
yeah,
too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, anything, like, apart from those places, like a gas station, a convenience store, maybe, like, like a drugstore, something like that. Everything else is closed both Christmas Day and Boxing Day. So, like, no grocery stores, no shopping malls, no like shopping stores, like, you know, you can't go out and return all your gifts that you wanted that you didn't want.
Well,
you can't return those on Boxing Day. You got to do that the day after Boxing Day, on the 27th.
And most places won't take them the day after either, because a lot of places in Canada have Boxing Day sales. Yeah. So the first, like, at least weekend, I would say this year after Boxing Day, they won't be taking stuff.
No, you got to wait
Returns.
to return.
Yeah.
But it just, like, shuts everything down in the city for a couple of days.
Yeah, so it's pretty convenient. And then really you only have to take 3 days off work to get between Christmas and New Year's Day, all that time off. If you take time off work. I'm working through it anyway, but...
Are you?
Yeah, but I just work from home, so it's not as bad. Sorry, I don't know why. I didn't think it was that phone. Anyway, sorry for all the dings. Jeff's Kent trying to get something for the house, and it's clearly a hassle.
Clearly
he had to get someone with a truck, and then he had to go to Home Depot, and I'm just like, yeah, you were going to do all of this tomorrow on your birthday.
Clearly he needs guidance.
Yes, he does. So yeah. It's Christmas, and that's exciting.
Yes. We just had Christmas.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, we didn't actually. So that might be something we add to our 201 episode to also talk about how our Christmas was.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too far away from Christmas, so that's exciting.
Yeah. So, like, same thing for me every single year. My entire family hangs out over Christmas, and, like, they all sleep at my house. I'm in the throes of cleaning my house right now, like, decluttering it, because I don't know why, but, like, I just have a really messy family. I don't understand how people keep their place tidy. Like, I genuinely don't.
Yeah.
Like, it literally took me an hour and a half to clean out just my porch. Because, like, as you come in, like, you toss your coat down and, like, you toss your bag down. And then, like, my porch becomes this, like, huge mound of just bags.
Well, yeah, and also you have children.
Yeah, but, like...
They have lots of stuff,
I know,
too,
but lots of people that I've gone to their house have kids, and their houses are immaculate, and I don't understand it.
But do you go there when they know you're coming?
I mean, usually, but even still, like, I can't imagine they're all, like, running around like chickens trying to tidy the house. I don't know. I would love to drop in on some of them.
And see what it's like.
Yeah.
In the normal time. Yeah, I've been cleaning my house like mad today, too, because we're having people over on the 23rd. And I just... When I start cleaning, then I'm like, oh, I need to do this. And I just go completely off the rails and do something that is not important and I don't need to do. And I'm like, nobody's looking in the cupboard where the cat's food is. Why am I cleaning that right now?
Yeah.
Well, now on the 23rd, I'll show you
how clean it is.
Cupboard and how clean it is. And you'll appreciate it.
I will. See, meanwhile, I'm the opposite. I will ignore that and just, like, tidy up around, but then invariably, because I have a lovely but nosy family, they'll get into all my cupboards.
Yeah. Well, they're also staying for, like, do they come over the night before, too, some of them?
Oh, they all do.
Yeah.
They come and sleep over, yeah. So they'll show up, like, between 3 and 5 on Christmas Eve. And then they stick around until, like, 7:30-ish on Christmas Day. So, like, yeah, they're in my house for over 24 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a bit different. Like, if you're just having people over for a party, they're not going to look around. But, like, if you wake up in the morning and you're like, where are the coffee mugs? Where's this? Yeah. You know? But they've been to your house multiple times. They should know where the coffee mugs are.
Oh, yeah. But, like, then they start, like, they all... So I guess they know that I'm not a great hostess. Because I'm not. I'm a terrible at hosting people. Like, I'm garbage at it.
I don't really think that's true.
No, I really am. Like, I will sit down and be like, yeah, cool. And, like, I'll be like, should you get them a drink? Like, I'm really not good at that sort of a thing.
But it's different with family, too.
Well, it is. But, so, I guess I provide the location.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike when, like, say my mom hosts people or my aunts host people, they're like, just bring yourself. Meanwhile, when I host people, it's like, okay, I'll bring every single item we need to make supper. I'll bring every single item we need to make Christmas dinner the next day. I'll bring every single item we need to make breakfast. Like, they're all bringing something, and, like, someone else is bringing appetizers, someone else is bringing, like, the beds, like, the blow-up beds and the blankets and stuff. So, like...
But imagine if you had all that in your house, it'd be even more cluttered.
No,
if you had all the bed stuff.
True. But, like, it's just...
Yeah.
They don't rely on my skills. And I guess it's a bit financial, too. Like, my parents especially don't want me to have to buy every single item required to host 15 people.
Well, you shouldn't. Yeah, that's a lot to put on.
Well, but, like, my parents also, they did that. Like, when I was a kid.
Yeah, but they're your parents. They have to feed you.
No. But I mean, like, so... It's always the same people coming to my house and sleeping over, right? So it's obviously my family, myself, my husband, my 2 kids. My sister comes. My 2 parents come. My aunt, who is single, comes. Then, obviously, when my grandparents were alive, they would come. Then my other aunt and her partner and their 2 kids come. And their 2 kids also have partners who will usually also come. So that's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 14 people.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I have another aunt and uncle, and one of their kids who has a partner and a small child. They will sometimes come to visit at some point, either come for dinner one night, or like come for a visit in the afternoon of Christmas Day. So there could be between 15 and 20 people in my house.
Yeah.
And it's always been that way. Like, ever since I was small, it's always been that way, and it's always been the same. Now, obviously, my aunt didn't always have her 2 kids and their partners.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, there's always been between 12 to 15 people in my family hanging out Christmas Eve, sleeping under the same roof, into Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So it used to be at my nan's house. Then it got bigger because people had kids. So then my mom started hosting it because my mom had an extra bedroom. Like a 3-bedroom house instead of a 2-bedroom house.
Yeah.
And then, so when my mom hosted it, when I was a teenager, it was still the same amount of people.
Yeah.
But my mom would buy everything. Mm-hmm. So, like, she was my age. Maybe a little older. But, like, she was probably in her mid-40s hosting 12 people for Christmas. And she would buy everything we need for dinner on Christmas Eve. Everything we need for breakfast Christmas morning. Everything we need for dinner Christmas Day. Like, she'd buy all that. All the hors d'oeuvres. All the alcohol. Like, everything. Now, we would pitch in and be like, I'll bring some hors d'oeuvres, I'll bring a bottle of champagne, but for the most part, my mom did it all.
Yeah.
And now, it's still my parents. Effectively, my parents are still hosting, just at my house, because I have a 4-bedroom house, so there's more people and it's more space.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But, like, they don't... To be fair, I've never cooked a turkey before. I don't know if I'd be able to do it.
No. Well, obviously, I wouldn't be able to, because I don't eat meat. But it would be pretty funny. Yeah, we do actually, funny story. We have a roaster, because one year, I guess Jeff was in, not Labrador, Jesus Christ. He was in Ontario, and his parents went up and just, like, went to the store and bought a roaster so that they could make turkey dinner for them all. Which is cute, but I'm also, like, wild.
Yeah, it is. Like, I have roasters, but I have no idea if they would fit a turkey.
Well, yeah, turkeys also come in so many different sizes. But, yeah. Yeah, I guess really we'll get into it.
Yeah, we probably should.
Because, you know, we have to.
Yeah.
So, obviously, as per usual, just a heads up, this is not a spoiler-free zone, and things could get saucy.
They could.
I'm pretty sure they do. So, well, they have to. We're reading A Quart of Sugar and Spice by Rebecca F Kenney. Last week, give me a minute. Oh yeah, last week, Clara was taken.
Mm-hmm.
And what's his face went after her.
Finn
went after her. And was like, if I just run in a straight line, I'll find her.
All very
Funny.
convenient.
Funny. So then the mercenaries that were with them were like, fuck this, if Finn's not with us, we're not going with you. Which after reading this week, I was like, what the fuck was Finn gonna do?
Also, can I just say, what the fuck was the point of them?
Oh, basically nothing.
Like, it was, hey, let's go get these mercenaries. Okay, then let's start traveling. Okay, and then they leave, and then we never hear from them again.
Yeah.
I just don't understand like, why include them in the story at all? They serve no purpose.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's weird. It is weird. Because, like, even the travel, like, last week we got a tiny bit of the travel. But it was like, we travel for weeks.
Yeah.
That's it. So I don't know what the point of them was.
And, like they didn't get to know any of them. Like, Louisa didn't even know their names. Except for the Mothy woman, an acorn.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what the point was.
Okay, well.
Yeah, I really, why bother having them in it?
Yeah, like, you could have found another reason. Like, was it the point so that Louisa, Lear, and Finn had something to do while Claire painted? Because I'm sure they could have figured something else out.
Oh.
Like, maybe...
Yeah, they could have just danced like they did.
But, like, they also, like, maybe Finn could have been like, hey, I need to replenish my supplies of, like, Orby Smashy things.
We could have learned how they're made.
Yeah, let's go out and forage. Or let's go to my laboratory and cook them up or something. Like, I don't actually... See, I don't even know how they're made. But, like...
I don't either.
For a story
because it's not in the book.
But, like, for a story that relied on them so heavily...
Yeah.
Like, you know, why...
Not to explain the magic of them is kind of odd.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, that's a good point. They were kind of useless. And at the end of it, it did kind of seem like they were going to come back or something. Yeah. Because at the end... And maybe in another book they do, but this book kind of wraps up pretty neatly for their stories. Yes. And it seems like, spoiler alert, in the next book, Lear isn't really in it.
No. Or Louisa.
So exactly. So, like, because at the last week when the mercenaries were leaving, one of them was like, yep, this is super fair. Thanks for letting us go, basically. And Louisa thought that they were hoping that once Lear got his power back, if he did, because they kind of assume he's going to die, but if he got his power back, they wouldn't come back and be pissed at these guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it did kind of, like, leave a trail that they might come back, but if they come back in the next book...
Yeah, it seems silly.
Yeah. Because...
But, like, they never bring them up again or talk about them again either, which is just odd, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or, like, think about, like, oh, I wish those mercenaries hadn't left us during this time of need.
But, that's my point. So, we already obviously know what happens this week. But, if the mercenaries were there...
How would it have made it better?
Like, were they just gonna storm through and try to kill everyone? How?
I don't know.
Because the other ones, they were like, we're only going because Finn can do that.
Yeah, so what's the point of them?
Yeah.
What?
And I'm like, how is Finn that powerful, but still, like, I guess he was impressive, but he wasn't, like, kill everyone in that ravine impressive in the end of this book. Anyway, not the point. I guess it is, but whatever. So, this week is week 4, and our last week of this book. We're doing chapters 23 to 29, which is the end. We start off in Clara's point of view. Oh, yeah, and Finn also gets to the Rat King's underground lair last week. I don't think I said that out loud.
No.
But he's there now.
He is, and he is very charming. He is very charming. I think he might be my favorite character, even though I don't like how he looks. I agree. He's the only... Him and a little bit of Clara are the only reasons I am still reading this book.
Well, other than the fact that we're doing it for the podcast.
Well, yes. This absolutely probably would have been a do not finish for me.
That's fair. So, yeah, Clara's point of view, there is the promised pool of blood and honey milk, and there's also a cheese pool, which I guess is a play on, like, the rat being a rat, but it's still, it sounds so gross.
I did not even think about that.
Yeah, like, the Rat King is in it, and she's like, there's cheesy clumps in his fur.
It's disgusting.
It is. So, Clara's as disgusted as we are, which I appreciate. But there's also candies there that the Sugar Plum Fairy has, like, appeared for them. It seems like they don't know that his name is Finn.
No, because that's his true name.
Yeah, but then it also, like, I read the little excerpt from the next book that was at the back of this book, and it makes it seem like it only matters if you give it to humans.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever. But that's not the point. So he has candies there that you just eat it and it cleans you off completely so that you can, like, go from pool to pool and shit. Which, kind of fun. He also has, like, a bunch of candies and fireworks and, like, all that shit that he promised. And she notices that he isn't really taking part. He's just kind of blending in. And she can feel his restlessness and thinks he's powerful enough to destroy everyone in the room. But then there's also the army below them, and, like, he would probably not be powerful enough to do all that. And she thinks he must realize that the cage would kill her. Because, of course, it will. Like, if you kill the Rat King, all the people in the cages are going to die. So, she's not really sure what his plan is. And the Rat King comes out of the cheese and has one of the cleaning candies, and he picks up his scepter. And he's naked. And she thinks, and I quote, the size of his thick, bulbous, gray cock terrifies, and she says me, but I said her. But I'm like, I don't know, I just, why are we doing this? Why do we need to hear about his cock? But of course we do.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know if it's because of the intention.
The, like, fear of rape.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, classic. Man, that's a stat I should look up. How many times fear of rape is used in the books that we've done? Because it seems like every fucking book. But anyway, whoops, sorry. My mouse wasn't where I thought it was, which is funny because I'm now talking about rats. So, the Rat King's rats that he just has sticking out of his bodies are starting to revive. And I'm like, okay, cool. So they drowned. Great. Good for them. So he calls Finn over and asks if he wants anything else. Oh, Finn asks if he wants anything else. And the Rat King says he's done well, but it's a bit sealy for his tastes. But he knows that Finn is trying. And now he's in the mood for a fuck. So he asks to bring forth the concubines. And the Rat King points Clara out to Finn. and says that she's an unbroken human, and says the Rat King would have her, but tonight he fancies a Seelie rump.
Ugh. And
I'm just like, why? If humans are as rare as it seems like they are, he would have 100% have picked her for himself.
Yeah.
But it's just so that she doesn't have to be raped in a book. Yeah. Which, like, I appreciate. Obviously, I get it. But I don't think it makes sense for the characters. Which, you know.
I think, too, like, could it also just be, like, maybe the Seelie party has him in the mood for Seelie?
Maybe. I just can't see him giving her to anybody else before he's had her. That's, like, classic male villain in a book.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm like, okay, fine. So the Seelie's cage, I guess, lowers as he says that he wants a Seelie rump. And she walks over to the Rat King and she's like super seductive. And she like plays with the rat tails around his neck. And I'm like, you can't use the word seductive and playing with rat tails around his neck in the same sentence.
But like, how does she not vomit?
Right? But she's playing it. Like, I don't know. And I don't know what happens to them at the end of the book. We don't really hear what happens to all of them. She has a collar on that strips her magic, and then he points out some of the other male, female, and non-binary fae that are in the cages to offer them to Finn. But Finn says that he'll take the human girl that he suggested and thanks him. So all of the cages start to sink, and like a lot of the Unseelie just start fucking each other and not even waiting for the concubines to come down. And she like tries not to watch, but she does see that, like, you know, it's a good old orgy and people are very liberal is the word I think I'm trying to use.
Free with their affections.
Yeah, like multiple partners, multiple genders, you know, fun times. Yeah. So Finn said, nope, already said that. Finn goes over to her and asks if she's all right. And he tells her that he's used a lot of magic, so they can't leave yet because he needs to, like...
recharge.
Yeah, that's the word. And the Rat King is on his throne and watching them. And the Seelie Fae is just, like, bouncing on his dick. And Finn tells Clara to trust him. And he's like, we need to have sex. And she's just shocked. She's like, people will see. Like, what did you think was going to happen? But she trusts him. And then she just realizes that she dropped the pill she was given. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, at this point, I was like, is someone going to find the pill and then kill the fae that gave it to her? Like...
Yeah, no. But again, we never hear about it. It's not a problem. And I'm like, she didn't have to give you that. Like, I just thought that there'd be something more to this pill. And I just was like, you stupid girl dropping the pill. And, like, it seems like she doesn't even know when she dropped it. But, like, what my issue is, it doesn't cause an issue later on. So why does she need to drop it? Why was it given to her at all? If it's not going to come up again.
Why was it given to her if like, we don't even hear what happens to this fae that gave it to her.
No.
Like, if it came up, I assumed it would come up and, like, the Rat King would find it and kill her. And then when that didn't happen, I was like, oh, she's going to say, hey, save this fae because she helped me.
Nope.
That doesn't even happen. She doesn't give her a second fucking thought.
Nope.
Wild.
So, like,
anyway,
we keep bringing this up. Like, this is a reoccurring, I guess, issue that we have with this book is that things are mentioned and we assume they're going to be important because why else would it be in the story if there's no reason for it and there's not a reason for it?
Yeah.
And it's frustrating.
Yep. It is.
Anyway.
It's very frustrating. And then I only really added this part because I was like, what the fuck? But she's like, it smells so bad here. And then he just, like, breathes on her nose so that
Yeah, it's weird.
it smells good for her.
Yeah, because
and I'm like,
his breath smells like candy all the time.
I, like, that disgusts me. Like, I don't like, if I'm lying in bed and I can feel Jeff breathing on me, I have to move away. People breathing on me, not my jam. So I was just like, bleh. I was like, the cheese pool I could deal with.
Could you?
If it was just me and, like, I just showered and I could get in and start, like, swimming around and eating cheese in a pool.
Yes.
I think I'd be down for it.
Yeah.
But when, obviously not if there's a whole bunch of unseelie there that are, like, half spider, half insect, like, you know, I want a rat in there, you know, I wouldn't love that.
Yeah, God only knows how clean they are.
Yeah, exactly. So they kiss, and he says they're being too affectionate. So I expected this to be another one of her, like, pretending. Like, I thought that last week was leading up to this.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was going to be like, she now needs to pretend
Not
that
to like
she
it.
doesn't want this for the Rat King. And she liked it last week. Not saying that if you like something last week, you have to like it this week. But I just thought that it was going to be like,
you need to pretend.
she likes it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. No. They just actually have sex enjoyably.
Repeatedly.
And I'm just like, what? And he's like a bit much. Like, he rips the ribbons off of her boobs and he bites her shoulder hard enough to bleed her and then bleed her. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me? And licks blood onto her face. But she is loving it. And he tells her to be as loud as she wants. And I'm like, in a pleasurable loud? Or, like, do you want her to be screaming? Because, like, that's not very Sealy of you. Like,
but, like,
why should she enjoy him? Like, she should not be enjoying. It makes it seem like they're plotting together if she's enjoying it.
but, like, also, because he has, the Rat King doesn't really have any expectations of what she's like. So, like, maybe she's a willing human. Like, I guess, you know what? I guess he doesn't really know enough about her to know if she's gonna want this or not.
Yeah, other than she struggled when he first stripped her and stuff, and when she was gonna become the concubine, like last week, she struggled, understandably. But I would feel like if you're trying to make it seem like you don't know her and you don't have feelings and you're not plotting, you'd be like,
struggle.
Remember last week?
Yeah.
when I know it wasn't well, actually, it might have been a week since then for them too. But I find it weird because he's like, he at one point did say we're being too affectionate, and I was like, yes, that makes sense. But anyway, he kisses her again, and then he's grinding against her and pushes her into a pillar. Guys, I don't know what's wrong with my words. I am trying. And he tells her to put her legs around his waist and says that he's about to come in his pants. And she laughs and unbuttons his pants. And they just start fucking, and it's bliss, and he tells her to scream. And she thinks she doesn't like drawing attention to herself, but she screams for him. I guess maybe the point is that, like, everybody talks about how good at sex he is, so maybe it's kind of like she's an unwitting human. She'll love the sex with him because he's such a sex god. Sure. But she screams for him, and then he comes fast, but he keeps going until she comes to, and she whispers, "I love you" on his lips. And I'm like, is this the time?
No!
And he says, "Only you, ever." And Anand Sealy comes over and asks for a turn, but Finn says that he's not done, and pulls her hair and spins her around, and they go again, and he tells her he needs an hour or two to replenish, but they'll put on a show. Oh, no, he meant they'll put on a show after he's replenished. But also, they're putting on a show right now. So, we go to Louisa's point of view, and the towers that he saw in the distance are actually a bridge. So that's convenient, because if it wasn't, what the fuck would we do now? But there's a bunch of rat guys around, and she wonders which of Finn's spells could help them. And then she remembers the mimic one that they very vividly described in week 2. And we knew that was going to come back. So they just need to get a guard alone. And she says that they should wait outside of, or in the outhouse for one. And Lear's just like, I'll do it because you've done so much already. Okay.
Ugh.
You're in a life or death situation. Like, you gotta do everything. Anyway, so she gives him a noise muffling orb to help, and he goes to catch one of the rats. Eventually he drags a soldier back to her, and he's alive but unconscious. So as he's coming to pretty quickly, she puts a dagger to his neck and tells him to stay still and keep his eyes open and stay quiet, and he'll live. And Lear goes first and chews the candy, looking into his eyes, and then she does it, and they both look like this same one soldier. And then she slices the soldier's throat, and Lear's like, you said he'd live. And she just says, I changed my mind. Okay. I'm like, it sounds like Lear doesn't love that, but it never comes up again.
Yeah.
Cool. So in their rat disguises, they leave everything behind but Finn's satchel, and they walk to the tower and onto the bridge, and it's really high, and she's got a lot of anxiety about the height, and then also they're identical, and she wonders if anyone's going to notice that, and then she's like, wait, am I still following Lear, or did a different rat guy come in front of me? And she's just, worrying. And when they're almost to the end of the bridge, Lear's mimicry starts to shimmer. So she pulls out an orb and throws it at the tower on the other side, which covers it in mist. And they go down those stairs, and luckily they're empty. And as they get out, she drops another orb, and they get to a building. But now they need to get through a war camp. And they're back to themselves. So she starts to panic and say that she can't. And she's afraid that she's going to get them both killed, so he should leave her. But he says never. They go together. And he tells her to follow him, do exactly what he's doing, but also to listen to her instincts. And she does. And every time she feels apprehension, she stops. And it saves her life twice because a rat soldier comes by out of nowhere. And I'm like, where did she get these powers of, knowing the future?
And
what?
Again, never comes up again.
Yeah, it's just weird. Why? Yeah. That's not a thing. I don't know. So they get through the camp, and she says that she thinks they're going to move soon, the camp. And he says that they'll try to secure the unending pool, and there's only a few soldiers that his father put on guard of it because he wanted the pool to be open to all Fae. So they go through a forest, and she loses Lear twice. And then he comes back to her after the second time, and he apologizes for drinking too much blood and for her having to go through this. And she says that she just wants a hot bath and a meal and a bed. And he just wishes he could give her those things. And then he picks her up, and she, rests against his shoulder until they get to, what's called the Soul Grove. And he tells her that, it's, ice that glows blue, and there are souls of the ancient that are resting here, waiting to be put into new bodies. And if you look through the crystal, you might see images of their pasts. So she asks to look, and she can see Fae dancing. She can see two armies racing towards each other, a woman holding a child, and I'm guessing, this is the past of it. And I'm assuming this is going to come up in one of the other books, because why would we describe it so much?
God only knows. I've stopped wondering, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, we're probably never going to know, to be honest, is the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So he says that they have to go because her scent is back, and then she feels something vibrate, and 4 Fae are coming. So they're just like, cool, we're gonna have to fight them. And then Lear's just like, white reindeer, and starts running towards them. And he hugs one of them, and she's like, oh, I guess this is promising. And of course, they're members of the Royal Guard protecting the pool. So that's good. So one of the guards, Orain, says the pool is far and that Louisa needs rest and food. And Louisa's like, the curse is more important than my needs. But Lear says that he needs rest too and to speak to his people. So they're going to their camp instead of straight to the lake. So she and Lear share a reindeer to ride on. And sitting on this reindeer, feeling him against her ass makes her wet.
Of course it does.
Of course it does. And she thinks that she wants to fuck him multiple times until she knows his body and until he is utterly hers. So she leans into him and he holds her. Hopefully? And I'm like, how can you tell that this is, like, how can you tell that this is hopefully? Like, tentatively would be fine. I have this problem with every book. If you're going to put a book in someone's point of view, you can't tell us what the other character is feeling. No. You need to tell us what they're doing, and you can describe how they look, but you can't say they look hopeful. I don't think. Unless it's like somebody says, hey, this person isn't dead that you thought was dead. Then yes, you could probably say that that person looks hopeful. That's an obvious one. Yeah. Sure. But like something like there's nuance to it. I understand. But I don't like you telling me someone looks a feeling. Not everybody's feelings look the same way, for one.
No.
For two, not everybody can tell what somebody else is feeling based on how they look.
How do you translate, like, yeah, I don't know if I could look into someone's eyes and know exactly what they're feeling.
No. And one of my favorite books, I think it starts with something like hate and love feel very similar or something, which is just kind of funny because like that's the point of the book is like she thinks he hates her and he's always loved her. Stupid, but I dies for it.
What book is this?
The Hating Game, the other one I gave you.
Right, yes.
But yeah. Anyway, so she says to him that she didn't mean to hurt his feelings, that she was just overwhelmed.
Yeah, she essentially turned him down, or like not really turned him down, but was like,
I just wanted to have sex. Where you burying your soul?
Yeah, I just wanted to have sex with you. Essentially, like reaffirming that she's a terrible whore. This isn't like, now, not actually, but like,
yeah,
not,
but also
just
yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't understand their relationship in any way, shape, or form.
He's a dick to her. She wants to sleep with him. He confesses his love, and she's like, whoa, I just wanted to sleep with you. Like, his turn, I hated more than hers. Hers, I was like, yeah, that's all she's wanted all along. I'm like, I'm fine with it.
Valid. But like,
I know we have problems with her as a character in general.
The fact that, like, her only character trait is, I'm a whore for sex. Like,
yeah, it's not great.
Like, I don't mean whore in a derogatory way. I mean, like, she literally only ever thinks about sex.
Yeah.
And, like, that continues. Yeah. She does not grow at all.
I know. I sent it to you last night. So gross. But I did appreciate that, like...
I appreciate that she didn't fall, like... head over heels, like, oh my god, you want me as your queen? Okay. Like, I appreciate that she didn't do that, because he has been a dick.
She kind of does, though. Just not the first time he said it. Yeah. I just also hate that now she's like, she doesn't accept him because she doubts herself. It's not because...
he's been a dick.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, he's been a dick. He's called you down to the dirt multiple times. Yeah. Like, that's why you should not want to be with him. But no. Anyway, so she just says that she was overwhelmed, which I think is fair, because, like, he just 180'd, and also they're in a dangerous situation. But she says she's not sure she can handle a chosen bond or being queen for either an unnaturally long or a perilously short life. And he asked her for too much. And I'm like, yeah, 100%. Like, just go on a date first. See if, like, oh, God. So he says, this part killed me. He says he's only asking for what he's willing to give.
Which is everything.
Everything. Like,
yeah. So it's like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. I think you're the worst person in the world because you're such a skank.
Yeah. A floozy.
Yeah. But I would like you to give your entire life to me, please. And I'll give you my entire life. Like, it's just...
Wild.
It's just not genuine. There's, like, nothing endearing about it. It's just... It does not make me...
Yeah, it's a 180 for the sake of a 180.
Yeah.
But, like, there's no... I don't know. I needed more development of feelings.
Yeah.
At least in the books that, like, we're reading where the characters hate, like, when the male main character actually hates the female character, aka something like a Quicksilver, there's a reason why he's acting like he hates her. In this book, he's like, I thought you were a terrible human person and a whore, so I didn't want to like you. I'm like, is that a good enough reason? Because that's her whole personality. So, like, if you don't like those things, you don't like her. Like, even the classic Pride and Prejudice, he doesn't like her because of her family.
Yeah, and that doesn't change.
Yeah. He just realizes he loves her more than he dislikes her family and her want of fortune. Anyway, so yeah. She says that she's only known him 2 weeks. And he says, Faye aren't slow with feelings, and he loves her. And she's just like, you hate me. We fight constantly. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, we communicate. And she just kind of laughs at that because they fight. And he kisses her head. And that makes her feel warmer inside than any kiss. And she's so wet for him, she's afraid the saddle will be wet. And beyond that, she thinks her heart is wet for him.
I hate it so much. I hate it.
What?
I hate it.
What are you talking about? I'm going to let you in on a secret. Everyone's heart is wet.
Oh my god, it's so cringy and bad.
What?
Oh.
I'm confused.
No.
Your heart is sexually aroused. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh.
At this point, I stopped reading the book for a little bit. I was like, oh, I can't do this right now. I'm going to move to something else. She thinks if she lets him choose her, everything will be all right. And she asks him, what would it be like? And he says that they could travel and see fairy, and then they could go to the royal city and host parties and enjoy music and art, and she could train and turn her innate talent into fighting skill, and she would become a captain or an advisor in his court because like her ability to strategize, I guess. And it isn't what she expected. And then she wonders why she's holding herself back, because she thinks she was just going to marry anyway, and just to get her inheritance. So why not marry a man who loves her? And I'm like, is that what
we're doing here?
Yeah. And she wonders if she just can't believe it's true because she never dreamed for more than a foolish husband that she could cuckold for fun. And she thinks she knows he respects her. Like, when has he ever respected her? Because he shows it by treating her like an equal. When? Because I didn't see it. So they get to the camp, and Lear tells her to go with Arain, and he says he needs to speak to his people. And she just immediately feels abandoned, but she gets in a hot bath, which is what she wanted. She literally listed 3 things she wanted.
Food.
He gives them to
and
her.
She's like...
And she is pissed.
She's angry.
Yeah.
It's like, girl.
So she, like, works herself up that she deserves to be there to strategize with him, and it's rude of him to leave her. And she worries that he'll leave her behind when he goes to break his curse. And Orain then brings her clothes, and she thinks that she rejected Lear, and she kind of, like, reels it in now. She thinks she needs to stop being so selfish about his attention, and she knows part of this feeling is fear of, like, what if the Rat King's army attacks and he's taken or killed and she never sees him again. So she's like, that's the real reason. And that makes her think about her sister, her best friend, apparently. And what if Finn didn't get there in time? And she thinks, like, everything's a mess, and she wants to say sorry to her sister. And she wants to kiss Lear until she feels safe again. Like, I don't think kissing Lear is going to help you feel safe.
Nope.
So then, of course, Arain has food and somewhere to sleep for her. And she asks where the prince is. And Arain says that he's talking to the captain and then he'll go rest. And she wonders if he'll rest with her, but knows that he's a king, so he'll likely have, like, a royal tent. And she's just a slutty mortal girl who injured him. Also brought him back here and all that shit. And he just said that you were chosen, but okay. So she eats and gets in bed, and she struggles because she's not used to being alone right now. And she worries that Lear is already gone, and she wonders, like, what if he became a nutcracker and fell off of his horse without her? And what if he takes a Seelie to bed? And what if someone's a traitor and kills him? Like, she's
spiraling.
Really, she is spiraling, catastrophizing. So Lear shows up while she's freaking out. And she, like, grabs a knife because she's like, who the fuck is there? Completely
valid.
Fair. Yeah. And he's like, you seem agitated. And, like, obviously she's agitated. Somebody just came into her tent when she's trying to sleep. But she says yes. And she says it's because he left her alone in camp and told her to go to bed. And he's like, who told you had to go to bed? And she's just like, it was implied. And
so nobody.
Like, you asked
nobody.
for, yeah. He's like, you asked for a bath, food, and a bed. I thought you wanted a bath, food, and a bed. And I'm like, this book is giving a bad name to women. Because men will often say, women will ask for things and then not want it. And I'm like, that's not true. But
apparently
in this case,
it
I'm
is.
like, yeah. So he then is like, says he thought she'd want some time alone, because she rejected him. But of course she's not happy about that. And she didn't want him to leave her. But then she asks why he's here. And he says he wanted to make sure that she had everything she needed. And she just says, like, Orain took care of all that so he can leave. And
she's being a straight up B word.
She kind of is. Like, she's all over the place in what she wants. And he says he didn't think that she'd want to share his bed. And she says that he didn't ask. Like, why would he ask? You just were like, all I want you for is to sleep with you. I don't want to be your chosen. So, yeah. And she says that she's the one that, like, he's the one, that doesn't want to sleep with her. She always wanted to sleep with him. And I'm like, this is 2 very different things. Sex and sleeping are 2 very different things. Yep. You can share a bed and sleep.
Yes, you can.
She then says that she thinks he proposed marriage because he's exhausted and traumatized and feels like a failure, and he wants to have her comfort and strength. And I think that that's actually, like, kind of perceptive of her, because she's like, you broke down, I rubbed your head and made you feel better, and then afterwards you were like,
I don't hate you, I love you.
Yeah, I'd like you to be around and sometimes stroke my head, is one of the things he literally said when he, like, proposed love to her. Anyway, so I don't think she's wrong, but he's annoyed by that. and says, or maybe he's the prince who spoke to his people like a leader should and was drawn to her tent because he will always crave her no matter who the strong one of them is. And maybe he finally caved to fuck her even if she doesn't want more. And maybe she is trying to wound him because she's afraid of this connection, of their connection. Which is also true, but I think multiple things can be true at once.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't love that she's like, I don't deserve this.
Yeah.
I don't need that storyline. And then he says he's sorry for the words that he's said to her, and he understands if she can't forgive him, but he's asking if she can love him.
Is it, I'm just a boy standing in front of, or is it, I'm just a boy standing in front of a girl asking him to love her?
Yeah. Yep. It's like, he's the one that complained about her apology in week 1. And now he's like, sorry for all the things I said to you, but could you love me? What? No. And if she can't love him, he'll leave her alone. So she says that she doesn't want to reject him, but she's afraid. And she's worried that, like, this isn't real and he won't love her, that she'll grow bored and cheat on him. And he just says, like, loving someone is bearing your heart to pain.
Ugh.
And he accepts that. And if she chooses him and then changes her mind, that's fine. But he tells her the chosen bond provides the keenest pleasure known to his kind, so she won't find any better. So it's all about sex.
Yep. But, like, that actually also really bothers me. She's like, I'm worried that I'm so flighty that I'm just gonna cheat on you.
Yeah.
And, like, saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how could you just say that to somebody?
She can.
That, it blows my mind.
Yep. So, he says that she wanted and tempted him, and now she has him, and it's her choice. And he says, choice is freedom. And that makes her realize that by choosing him, she isn't stepping into a cage, but leaving one.
How?
And she realizes then that he's everything she's ever wanted.
Is he?
Sorry. And out of every person in both realms, fairy and human, he wants her. And literally her biggest point of, like, wanting to get with him is how much he loves her. It has nothing to do with how much she likes him, even though she just said he's everything she wanted. But one of the main things that keeps coming up is how much he wants her and how that makes her feel.
I mean, it does make you feel good to have somebody love you.
Sure. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you get with them forever. You also should have some feelings back.
Oh, God.
So she says, I love you and choose you.
Oh. All right.
And he asks her to say it again, and she does. And she says his full name, which I forget.
Liranon something.
Sure. And he says he chooses her too. And she says she doesn't know what to do now because sex has always been a game and a diversion for her, but this is different and she's terrified. And he says he is too. So he kisses her a bunch and she's on fire for him, and, like, they're all over each other, and she fumbles her clothes off, and her heart feels naked too. My heart doesn't feel. The most my heart feels is, like, sometimes I get anxiety and it starts to race. Like, your heart feels naked. Your heart feels wet. What is happening?
I feel like she doesn't know what she's feeling.
No. Also, she's in, like, stress response constantly since she's been in Fairy. I don't think you can know if you're in love. Same with her sister. So he undresses and tells her to lie down and spread herself for him. And she does, and he eats her out. And then she begs for his cock inside of her. And he kisses up her body, and she pulls him up, wrapping her legs around him, and just takes all of him. And in the haze of it, she can't remember what anyone else has ever felt like. Just this, just his cock, her chosen. So then he asks her to ride him to see her beautiful body move. So he flips them over and stays inside of her while he does it, and he calls her beautiful. And she says that she's never seen a man as beautiful as him. And she rides, of course. And she stops, and he whimpers her name. And she, like, gets off of him. And when he whimpers, she says, "Good boy, cry for me," just like that.
Oh my God.
And then she goes down on him, and she teases him. And he says that she forgets who he is. He's the king of fairy. And then he, like, pounces on her and puts her on her stomach and fingers her, and then he fucks her. And I just said at this point, I assume she comes because she says, and I quote, "I'm gone. I fly out of my body and soar into the clear night sky, into a void of bursting stars that splatter my skin with scintillating light."
Interesting.
I don't even know what I just said.
Do you know what? It sounded nice.
I guess. But it wasn't clear if she had come or not. But
I think
later,
as one of those, like, not entirely closed doors, like, to me, that 100% means she comes. But then I'm used to reading Nora Roberts, where that's the type of stuff that, like, that's what it says.
But the rest of the book hasn't really been like this.
You're right.
That's where I take issue with
100%.
it.
And, like, I'll be honest, I actually think the writing in that, that one line is really good.
I just don't think it fits the book.
But I'm like, where was that the rest of the book? You know what I'm saying? Like, if the author's capable of that, where is that the entire rest of the book?
So he comes, and then she knows there will never be another man or cock for her. And then she comes again. So I'm like, okay, cool. That was her coming. We got the confirmation. And when she's coming again, he bellows and she screams, and the world is whited out, and she's risen on a wave that never ends into the sun at an insane peak. And she's just like, afterwards, when she comes down, she's like, "What was that?" And it was the chosen bond. Snapping into place, I guess. I don't fucking know. So she says that she loved it, the sex, and him, and wants to do this forever. Especially when his curse is broken. And he tells her to rest until morning. And she says that they can sleep a little and then do all of this again. And he agrees. And then tells her to get dressed. And then he's like, he can hear that the Unseelie are coming. Then Orain bursts into their tent and says that the Unseelie are on the way. And Lear offers to fight, but Orain says that he should go to the pool because he'll be of most help if he has his power. And she offers, like, a bunch of soldiers to him, but he says that he and Louisa will go. And she's worried, but she just grabs the satchel, and they each take a reindeer, and he says it'll be a long ride, and then his face changes, and she looks up to see a dozen winged Unseelie dive for them. Great. They're fucked. We end this section with them fucked. So now we go to Clara's point of view. And she's so sore she can barely stand. And she thinks, like, Finn pretended for some of the fucking. But when other people come by to wait their turn, he has to actually fuck her. So, like, it's not just been pretending. And the Rat King doesn't seem to care that he isn't sharing, so that's good. Or she would have to fuck other people, which she obviously doesn't want to do. And then Finn says it's time. And he asks if she can stand. And he gets up and uses his magic to change her legs into a doze and give her tiny green spikes on her arms and purple cloth covering all of her bits. And they walk towards the exit together. And a lot of the Fae are sleeping, including the Rat King. And the guards don't stop him. And she assumes that, like, he's using his magic to do all of this. So they get to the end of the hallway that she first came in, and they're at the door, but Magda, the Spider Woman from before that said that the Sugar Plum Fairy wasn't very powerful, is there. She's the one that vouched for him to the Rat King. And she says that later she told the Rat King that Finn is Seelie and that, like, he's definitely not on their side kind of thing. And now they're going to keep him. And she exhales white dust onto Clara and her glamour disappears. And Magda asks if he's trying to steal the Rat King's property. But Finn says that Clara is his. I'm like,
yikes.
She also shouldn't be your property. And he tells Magda to move because she doesn't know what he's capable of. And she says that they all watched him drain himself on purpose. And then he's like, but I recharge faster than most Fae.
Yikes.
Because of course. And then he tells Clara to hold on and stay close. And the world explodes around them. And he shatters the entrance to the cave, cracking it open to the sun, and Magda just disintegrates in the sun.
Hilarious.
Which is convenient, I guess. And then he says he needs sunlight for the spell that he's doing now. And he blasts magic down the corridor, killing a whole bunch of soldiers that are running towards him. And then he tells Clara that they're going to fly soon, so to be ready. But she sees more soldiers from a side exit, and then another one from a second hidden exit, and, like, she asks him to conjure her a weapon because they're being surrounded, basically. But he can only conjure clothes, so she's like, well, what about a whip? That's made of... Leather, which is in some clothes, I guess. So he uses candy darts and magic, and she has a whip now, so she whips one guy in the face, but then there's a bunch of crossbows, so she yells out to him, and he uses his magic to kill the crossbow guy. He kills hundreds of them, and he gets ready for more, but there's none. And he says that he's got everyone that has magic and crossbows, so now they need to fly away, and they should be fine, because nobody should be able to stop them. So he takes off his cloak and grabs her, but then a shadow goes around his throat and his wings, and obviously they're shadows, so she can't get them off, and, like, she's putting her hand basically goes through them. And they're dragged back, and she hears bone snapping when Finn hits the ground, and the shadows leave his neck, and he's bleeding, and his mouth... like, bleeding from his neck and from his mouth. And his wings are in pieces falling around them. And I thought that this would be a bigger deal than it was, but it's not. And obviously the Rat King is here now because of that shadow magic. And Finn is close to dying. And Clara is furious. And her whip is... glowing pink, and the angrier she gets, the brighter it gets. So she starts using the whip to get, like, the shadows off of her legs, and then she stands and says that if the Rat King wants Finn to come get him, and his shadows come for her, and she stops them with the whip because it's magic, and she holds him off, and he calls for archers, but there are none yet. So he yells at the soldiers to get her. And she uses the whip like a paintbrush, because of course. And she kills a shit ton of guards / soldiers. And the whip glows more with her thinking of Finn. And she thinks she isn't the girl in the corner anymore. Because of Finn, she is a force of destruction. And she starts to tire, and body parts pile around her, and the soldiers start to come slower and slower. And then the Rat King grabs a sword and runs at her. And she steps up to meet him, and lifts her trembling arms, and then just passes out on top of everybody that she's killed. I
love that for her.
I'm like, I didn't expect this to be the thing.
So, like, does he not stab her?
I guess not, because she just passes out before.
Interesting.
He definitely doesn't, unless Finn fixed that and we didn't know about it. But she just sees shadows unfurling around her and darkness burying her alive. And I'm like, oh, shit, so they're both fucked. They're both fucked right now. That's the end.
So, after Clara has passed out and we're all stressed to know what's gonna happen to them, of course we have to go back to fucking Louisa.
Yeah, but it's like, Louisa's also in a shit show. I was like, how is this book ending? Like,
Yeah. It was very anticlimactic, I want to say. Like, the problems just were, yeah, okay.
Yeah, the fixing of these issues.
Yeah. There was no, there was no real, danger.
No, and obviously I assumed that Clara and Finn would have been murdered. He ran at her with a sword, and she just passed out. NBD.
Yeah, definitely couldn't kill her for plot reasons.
Yeah,
realistically, there's no reason why he would have left it as long as he did, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. So, we go back to Louisa, and again, I just don't care, but fine.
Yeah.
So her and Lear are being chased by unseelie soldiers. They've been riding for hours on their stags, their reindeer, or whatever you want to call them. And every time, the unseelie get close, Louisa, just goes into the knapsack, or the satchel that Finn left her of, orbs, and just throws one of, just to see what'll happen.
Yeah, she's like, don't know what this is, but I'm gonna try it. And I'm like, fair.
And, she doesn't even think that, they know who they are, because they haven't been able to get close enough to sort of check them out. And, they wouldn't know who she is anyway, because
she isn't anyone.
Yeah, she's not anyone. But, she thinks that the fact that they're running away from the scene of the scene, running away from the action.
From the fight,
means that, there's a reason.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not necessarily true. I think if soldiers have been told to attack, an army, they're not going to see two randos running away and be like, aha!
Well, and I just thought that it was kind of silly, because one sentence she's like, they don't know who we are, and then the legit next sentence she's like, or they call him who he is. And I was just like, why did we even bother anything?
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of stuff that, why bother saying it?
Yeah.
So, like you said, one of them finally catches up to Louisa, tries to tell her to give up, and she is, throwing dry candy at him, and it obviously doesn't work, because it's dry candy, and it doesn't work unless you put it in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's remember that song? Don't you put it in your mouth?
Yeah.
That's the song. That's the vibe I get. So, Lear then, circles back around and is like, don't touch her. Leave her alone. And is trying to use...
Don't put her in your mouth.
And is using, his commanding princely energy. But because he's just using energy and not any sort of powers to speak of, the unseelie figures out that he's powerless.
Of course.
Because he's like, you don't have your power, do you? And the prince is like, and just doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
So,
just bluff.
Dude. Say something. Don't, lie. I guess Faye can lie, apparently, so, just lie. But he doesn't. So then the unseelie tells both of them to give up. And if they do, he'll give Louisa a quick death. He said, but I'm going to bring to the Rat King. So, either way, I don't see the benefit in giving up, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's I'll kill you, and I'll take you to the Rat King. If you just give up. But, if they don't give up, what are you going to do? Is it going to be worse?
Could it be worse?
I don't know if it can. Maybe they'll give her a slow death, but, So...
But she'll be with her beloved the whole time.
The one that she doesn't know if she wants or not?
No, she just likes him because he loves her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wants to have sex with him. Maybe they could strike that into the deal.
Yeah.
It's okay.
They'd like to watch. It'd be fine.
It's okay. We'll surrender, but you need to let us have sex first. So more unseelie are closing in, and they're flying ones. And they can see the, like, copse of trees that are hiding the unending pool up ahead. And they're urging their stags to go, like, faster to try to get them into that copse of trees because it's real tight. And they don't think the Unseelie can fly in there. And then she tells Lear that if he can, he should go on ahead without her. And he's like, no. And she's like, dude, you're a prince. You have a duty to your people. Like, you have to go.
Yeah.
And he's still like, no. And he's like, I'm not leaving you. And, like, I guess that's nice. Like, that's nice of him. Right?
Yeah.
To, like,
romantic.
yeah. But at the same time, dude, you're a king. Like, you do have a duty to your people, whether you want to admit it or not. So, like, and if you make it to the unending pool, you can be healed. Like, you can be at your full power and you could save her.
Yeah, because, of course, I'm sure these Fae, being on Seelie, would rape her. Because that's what they do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you could 100% save her if you get your powers back.
Yeah. And, like, he can heal her, too. So it's not like if she's hurt, he can't, like, fix it.
Yeah.
Anyway, she calls him a bastard for not leaving her. For not leaving her.
Yep.
And he just says, I love you, too.
I do like that.
Yeah, it is my favorite part of their relationship. It's the only part I appreciate.
Yeah.
So the Unseelie are flying. They keep swooping in, trying to grab them. One of them grabs Louisa's shoulders and, like, scratches them up. But, like, she holds on to the stag. I don't actually know if it's a stag or a reindeer.
They're white reindeer.
So it's a reindeer. So it's Rudolph.
Was Rudolph white?
No, but I just think all reindeer are Rudolph, so.
Oh, okay. That's fair. I just wonder, because, like, what was it? We were talking about reindeer and another name are the same thing.
Caribou.
But one's caribou.
Yeah.
But caribou are white.
I think it depends on the season. I think in the winter they're white, in the summer they're brown, because they blend.
Yes. Yeah, I've only seen caribou in the winter.
Yeah, and they've got velvety antlers.
Yes. Touché. Thank you very much.
I know so much about them. I don't.
Yeah.
It's
all good.
Do you know what's funny? The only thing I know about, like, the whole reindeer caribou thing is, and I'm sure I've said this before, is that my biggest memory when it comes to reindeer is convincing my sister they were real. Because I remember her and I were, like, driving home from a couple hours. We went out around to, like, a small community for, like, a festival of some sort. And we were driving home on the highway. And Newfoundland is weird and has, like, caribou statues and, like, moose statues at odd points of, like, just on the highway. Like, there's nothing else around, and then there's just a caribou statue. And I was like, oh, and then we started talking about how caribou and reindeer are the same. And she was like, what do you mean reindeer aren't real? And I'm like, they are. They're a real animal. And she was like, no, they're not. They're Santa's reindeer. They're not, like, they're not. And I was like, I'm afraid they are. Like, she had no idea that reindeer were, like, real creatures.
How old was she?
An adult. She was driving. I was in, like, my mid-20s, and she was almost 30.
Love that.
Yeah. So yeah, she thought they were literally reindeer were only Santa's reindeer.
I love that.
And not actual animals. And I had to tell her that, no, they do exist outside of Santa's sphere of influence. Anyway. But yeah, so the Unseelie, one of them lands on Lear's reindeer stag thing. and it's trying to grab at Lear. So Louisa reaches into the bag she has, pulls out the very last orb, and throws it. And it just so happened to be I want to say a good orb because it does something good for them, but like, I guess it was a dangerous orb because it immediately melts the unseelie on the stag's back.
Which, okay, wait. This was another time that I kind of thought, because last week or earlier this week, I don't remember. I think it was last week. Everything's running together. 'Tis the season. She said that she was going to remember them all with a song. So I thought that that was going to come back and fuck her over. But she doesn't even try to remember them in this scene. Like, she's just like, well, it is what it is. I'll just throw everything and hope for the best.
Yeah. What was the point in remembering anything?
Yeah, what was the point in trying a song? It confused me a lot.
Yeah, no, it is confusing. So she's like yelling at Lear to like push the unseelie off of the stag's back before it like melts onto Lear and or the stag and starts hurting them. And she like freaks out after that, and she's like, oh, that could have been really dangerous. Like, I probably should be careful. And I'm like, it's a bit late. You threw your last orb. What are you gonna be careful about now?
Yeah, really, though.
Like, what else is there to be careful about? You're gonna, like, pop something out of your brain? Like, what are you gonna do?
Do you mean a thought out of her brain?
No, I meant an orb.
Oh.
Like, you're just gonna, like, manifest one? So you could
and
throw
like we said earlier, it would have been great if we learned how they were made.
Yeah.
I assume we said that earlier.
We did.
Okay.
Anyway, so Lear's like, I love you, but never help me like that again, please. Because he also recognizes how dangerous it was. So, they make it into the copse of trees, and the unseelie sort of hang back, like, because they're trying to figure out how to navigate into it. Like, I don't know why they can't just walk.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And they're about to make it to the pool when Lear starts turning back into a nutcracker. And Louisa is like, should we stop and I give you more blood? And I'm like, girl.
I think it must turn her on.
But like, now is not the time.
Oh, 100% not. But I'm just like...
Even if that's her motivation, now is not the time, girl. Like, come on, you're being a dumbass. You're being chased through the woods by people that want to kill you. Mm-hmm. Don't stop and give him your blood, you... God. She's a...
Dumbass.
I'm using a Christmas term. She's being a cotton-headed ninny-muggins.
I thought you were going to say cunt.
No?
I didn't actually, because that's not
a Christmas term.
I also don't think it's a word that you like.
I don't hate it.
Okay.
So Lear is like, we don't have time for me to bite you right now. And is also like, if I bite you, I'm afraid I'm never gonna stop. And again, this never comes up again. This addiction to biting her.
Yeah,
we
and it seems
never
like
hear about it again.
It seems like it's a thing in the unseelie world of drinking blood. So I thought that it would be like an addiction that he actually had to work through.
He's not.
Nope, everything's fine.
Everything is okay, and he's not in the other books. So like, it's not as if there's this like reoccurring addiction that we have to worry about. We don't.
I assume that she got really bad reviews on their relationship and then just was like, they're traveling for the rest of the books.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Their relationship is super toxic, so it would make sense for her to be like, oh, I just won't include them anymore. I do wonder if, like, the relationships of the other characters in the future books are a lot more, like, green flags instead of red flags because of how this came across.
Yeah, but she's written like so many, like she's written a lot of books, so it surprises me.
And like, I'll say that I've read some questionable, very red flags.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I've read Den of Vipers, and it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And that's a red flag, like, on top of a red flag.
And, like, the Haunting
yes.
Adeline books.
Yeah.
Very not good.
Yeah, and, like, there's a series called Lights Out.
Yeah, I love that series.
Yeah. So, like, there are some really questionable series that we have read with a lot of red flag content. But for some reason, I find those relationships, like, there's something endearing about them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, you're sort of icked out by the red flags, but also you're like, but still, I love them. You know what I mean?
Yes. And I do. I know what you mean.
But I'm not getting that same vibe here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just, maybe it was too fast paced. Like, maybe the book wasn't long enough to really dive into, which we've said before.
Yeah. Well, when you're trying to put two main characters, like, yeah, it makes it hard, obviously, to develop 4 people in a book. That's why most books
focus on 2.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? So, my students always have to write a short story every year. Mm-hmm. And I always tell them, never go crazy with your characters because you only have a couple of pages to write a short story. Focus on one character, maybe 2 if you're doing a relationship. Never do, like, 3, 4, 5 characters. That's too many to try and, like, have an actual story and have your characters well developed and have them grow and learn a lesson and do all the stuff that they need to do.
Yeah.
This reminds me of that.
Yeah.
It's, like, not even a short story, it's a novel, but, like, it feels like we didn't have enough time to develop their relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway. So, the Unseelie finally catch up again. They found a way into the trees. I guess they're walking. And the Unseelie figured out, like, I guess they can tell from the way they're going and where they're going that they're obviously trying to get to the unending pool.
Fair. Like, I think it was obvious before now, but I'm glad that they're dumb.
Yeah. And they're obviously, they want to prevent it. So, they actually can fly. I don't know how. I don't understand. Like, I'm just mad because, like, I don't understand why they had to hang back if they have enough space to fly through the trees. Like, why did they have to hang back? It was the only reason in my brain is to give them a lead.
Yeah, I really, this whole part confused me.
Yeah. So, they're flying, they grab Louisa from the saddle and, like, throw her to the ground. They grab Lear. Oh, totally forgot to say that Lear starts turning back into a nutcracker.
Oh, yeah.
Like, totally forgot. But he starts turning back into a nutcracker. Did I say that? I must have said it before our big old rant.
I'm not sure.
I don't remember. Anyway, that's the whole reason they stopped to ask for blood.
Yes, yeah, you had to have
said
it. There's no, because we ranted about it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, they grab Lear, and they start tossing him back and forth, and he's gone all stiffy because he's turning back into a nutcracker.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, like, so they're, like, tossing him, from my understanding, they were tossing him back and forth, like, to play with him. And then all of a sudden...
So smart.
Yeah, he shrinks down to nutcracker size. And the Unseelie that are, like, tossing him back and forth are so surprised that they drop him.
Yeah.
And Louisa just catches him in her hands. She, like, dives for him. And it makes a point in saying that she, like, drops her dagger to, like, reach for him. And again, it's never brought up again anything about the fucking dagger.
Yeah, you'd think that, like, then she
didn't know where it was.
Scrambling for her dagger or some bullshit.
But nope. She don't need it.
Good.
So, she grabs the nutcracker. She gets up. There's an Unseelie, like, grabbing at her with its talons, but she, like, manages to wrench herself away. runs and plops the Nutcracker in the pool.
Plops.
Yeah, plops, because that's the sound that he would make. Plop.
I like it.
But you know what the plop I'm saying. When you put, like, a medium-sized
yes.
rock in the water,
Yeah.
it makes, like, a plop sound. It's not a splash, because it's not big enough to be a splash. And it's a little more than a tink, because it's bigger than a little pebble. So it's a plop.
I do know. I like it. Thank you.
I just really like the sound that those things make. It's like ASMR for me is like the dropping medium, that plop. I really like it. I like it more than a tink. I like it more than a splash. I like the medium-sized plop in the water.
I like it.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah, thanks. Anyway, so then all of a sudden the Unseelie decide to just stop attacking and see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like,
They should kill her.
They should, but they don't. They
Okay.
pop some popcorn. They're just sitting around waiting to see
what could happen.
What comes out. And then Lear just, like, bursts out of the water. And he's a giant. Like, literally, he's apparently 10 times bigger than he normally is. And if he's 6 feet, that means he's 60 feet.
Yeah, I didn't really understand why.
I know, like, I wonder, is this his, like, natural form when he is, like, a king? Like, is this the magic of the king? Or did he get plopped in, have the curse break, and immediately be like, I gotta protect my woman, so he comes out as a giant?
Yeah.
Like,
Also, he's naked.
He is naked.
Why? Who knows?
Is he, though?
Yep.
Because she doesn't comment on his dick, which I find surprising.
I find it surprising.
Because she definitely would.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he is.
Anyway, so, like, she's just looking at him and sees that his arm has that splinter bit missing from where she dropped him when he was a Nutcracker. He's also got these huge wings. And I'm like, why bother transforming into anything else if you have wings right now?
Yeah, I was very confused.
But I guess he can't breathe fire in this form.
Yep.
So he just grabs the Unseelie that were, like, chasing them down and just squishes them in his hand like bugs, which I find really disgusting.
Yes, that's fair.
And then he grabs Louisa, and I'm like, with the same squishy hand? Like, does he have Unseelie guts on his hand? And he's like, here, Louisa.
And he must.
He heals her, because she was all banged up and scraped from being thrown around. And then he brings her out of the forest, sets her down. And then he transforms into a dragon. Because why not? Because why not make him all powerful and able to solve all the problems?
Mm-hmm.
Which is legit infuriating for me.
Yeah.
And, like, we were sort of talking about this earlier, about how, like, we keep bringing up the fact that our female protagonists, for some reason, always lose their, like, world-shattering, problem-solving powers. They lose them so that they're more, quote-unquote, manageable. But then it makes it impossible for them to solve the big issue of the book.
Yeah.
However, men can keep theirs. No problem. It's not an issue.
Of course.
And I just want to, like, I just want to say, like, fuck the patriarchy.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, anyway, he turns into a dragon. He's going to solve the entire problem of the book and, like, decimate the army. And Louisa isn't afraid because his eyes look like his normal eyes. They don't look like dragon eyes. I don't know how you know what dragon eyes look like.
Yeah, I don't know what dragon eyes look like.
But he looks like him. His eyes look like him. Obviously, he doesn't look like him because he looks like a dragon. But his eyes look the same. So she's not scared.
Enough.
So finally we move over to Clara's point of view. And I want to say thank God.
Yeah.
Although, this is probably my least favorite part of their relationship, is this section here.
Yeah, I agree.
So they're in a cell together because the Rat King is nice like that, I guess. Like,
yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
It just seems so contradictory.
Yeah.
For, like, the dick that he threatens to be versus what he actually does.
Yeah. Just funny to say the dick that he threatens to be. I don't know why I found that so funny, but I did.
Oh, why? Because it keeps mentioning his gray, like...
bulbous.
I hate that word.
It's not a great word.
I hate it. Anyway, so Finn has a collar on that locks his magic away. His clothes that he had on, he had conjured them, so now they've disappeared. So he is completely naked. She still has her ribbons on. And, like, they have been in this cell for a few days at least.
Mm-hmm.
And she's really worried about the Rat King, about what the Rat King is going to do to them, and spends like 2-3 pages internally monologuing about it. But like she's like, oh, at least we're together. And then she says, like, the best part about us being in the same cell completely alone is that we have lots of sex. And I'm like, is it the time to have sex?
Yeah.
Because she's like...
seems wild.
She even, like, she talks about how, like, it's literally pitch black in there. So, like, they can't see anything. She talks about how stinky she is.
Yep.
And then she also talks about how she almost fell in the hole in the ground that serves as their toilet.
Yeah. Why are we doing this again? Like...
So I'm just like, why are you worried about, like, why are you having so much sex? Like, I understand being, like, bored because what else you got to do, but, like, talk?
Yeah.
Can you talk instead? Can you get to know each other?
Nope.
Because she does mention a little bit later that, like, she doesn't really know what Finn's done in his past.
Yeah.
So I'm like, girl, could you talk about your past, maybe, instead of just having all the sex all the time?
I don't think so. That sounds crazy.
Ugh. So, they're actually literally in the midst of having sex when 2 guards come to get them. And they say that the Rat King wants them to join him for a festive dinner. And they're like, oh, great. Is he going to eat us or be the main course? And they're like, no, you're the entertainment. So
Great.
There's obviously a plan. So they bathe them, which, like, for Clara, thank God, because apparently she was
oh God,
really needing that bath.
Yeah. It's not good.
So they're bathed, they're clothed, and she is chained. She's got, like, manacles on her hands, I'm assuming, and, like, is chained her hands together, and she's sitting at the Rat King's throne, like, on the floor in between his legs. And I thought, I could have sworn the book said that she was chained to, like, the dais or the throne or the floor or something. But, like, apparently she isn't.
Good.
Because later on, she's just not. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's true and what's not true.
That's fair.
So, Finn is not with her. He is chained up between 2 pillars, like, across the hall. And the Rat King does his little villain monologue and says the plan is for them to feast. And come dessert time, they're actually going to use Finn to provide the dessert, aka his semen.
Ugh. I hate it.
I know. And they've managed to, like, create a spell that will keep his endurance up even, and, like, essentially they're going to rape him over and over again and use his semen as dessert because it always tastes good and it always tastes different.
Great.
So they're going to objectify him.
Yep.
But yeah, apparently he, like, the Rat King got, like, a special magic user to, like, make the spell happen. I had something else to say, but I forget what it is.
Not sure.
Why can't you just read my mind?
I'm sorry.
So the rest of the plan is that when Finn is spent and begging for death, he's gonna rape the Rat King is gonna rape Clara in front of him before killing both of them. So, like, real great plan.
Imagine. Yeah.
I know, imagine somebody threatening rape.
Yep.
So Clara just feels really terrible because she doesn't want Finn to go through that. And I'm like, girl, like, I appreciate that you're only thinking of your boyfriend right now, but, like, you're also in danger.
Yeah.
What's that? Like, you're in danger, girl. Like, I don't remember where that comes from, but it's in my head.
It's fair.
So they hear this, like, banging sound, and the Rat King sends a couple of his lackeys out to see what it is, and what returns is two little toy soldiers with rat heads that look just like the soldiers that went to check on the disturbance. And Claire's like, oh my god, for like a split second before a few orbs roll in, and they all open up, and Drosselmeyer's voice comes out. And they're, like, muttering a spell. So the Rat King goes to, like, grab his scepter to counter the spell, but Clara grabs it and runs. And this is where I'm confused, because I thought she was chained to, like, either the Rat King or his throne or, like, a carabiner on the floor. I don't know, man.
If it was a carabiner, she could just unhook it.
Oh, shit, right.
Yeah, but maybe she's not that bright. She is a human after all.
Anyway, but apparently she's not. She just has her hands chained together, and I'm like, that's so, like, manageable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so she grabs his scepter and, like, it says she runs, but in my brain, she's, like, dancing it away, being like, you want this? You want this? Come get it.
I do love that. I like the visual.
So then Drosselmeyer actually walks into the throne room and recites a different spell, and all the soldiers start, like, going real slow before they eventually shrink and turn into toys. And the Rat King also turns into a toy. And this is what I thought was wild, was this whole, like, I don't know, I just, like, thought that it would be a bit more exciting when the Rat King died, because he's, like, apparently the big bad, and he's just Clara goes over once he's turned into a toy and literally smashes him into dust.
Yeah.
So, like,
it's very you'd think that there'd be
a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah, you know. I did think there'd be a struggle.
Him actually running after her, trying to get his scepter back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would expect something.
Yep.
So after she, like, beats the Rat King into a dust, Drosselmeyer, like, approaches her and tells her that he's been looking for her for a really long time. And Clara sort of, like, not that she thinks it's bullshit, but she is, like, just pissed at him in general.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, like, thanks for helping, but, like, Finn really helped too. He saved me. And then she looks over to where Finn was, like, chained up, and now he's also a toy. And she's like, what the fuck did you do? And
what do you think?
Like... Yeah, right? And he literally just says, like, I literally just spelled every single Fae, like, in this hovel. Like, I don't know what else to call it.
That's why you're safe.
Yeah, it's literally the one reason why you're not being raped right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, I think that's fair. I know it's shitty that your friend got turned into a toy, but also...
Yeah. He can also transform him back.
Yeah.
So not
like,
the end
I think
of the
it'll be fine.
Yeah. So, she tells, like, once she sees that Phineas has been cursed, she's like, oh my god, you gotta change him back. And Drosselmeyer's like, no. He's like, no. And she's like, yes, he's one of the good ones. Like, he saved my life. And Drosselmeyer says, like, there's no such thing as good ones. So, like, he really has, like, internalized hatred for, like, all Fae.
Yeah.
So he also just reiterates they need to get Clara and go home. And she's just pissed. She's like, no. King Lear and, like, Finn saved their lives after he left them in the forest. He saw all the rat soldiers and ran. So, like, they saved us, and now you're gonna, like, leave him cursed. Like, no, you have to change him back. And his response is sort of like, because he's literally like, oh, well, you know, I didn't have any weapons on me, and also your sister took my reserves of, like, all my weapons, so, like, I didn't have any more, and so I couldn't fight the amount that are there, so, like, you know, I just sort of left to, like, prep.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh, okay, like, I guess you do you, boo, like, maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know. So...
It's not good enough.
No, it's not good enough. But, like, I also sort of see where he's coming from, because literally what is he gonna do battling, say, like, 20 unseelie soldiers, and he has no weapons? How is he gonna fight them?
Yeah, I guess, but it's also like, what are they supposed to do?
Yeah, I guess so. So he tells... Oh, he also says that, like, he left to go, like, make more of his weapons, and that he actually managed to, like, advance one so that it worked against multiple Fae instead of just one, which is sort of what we saw when those orbs, like, made everybody turn into a toy.
Yeah.
So he also then tells her that, like, all Fae are wicked, both Seelie and Unseelie, which is an interesting point of view. And we sort of...
It's a choice.
We sort of get his backstory now about, like, why he hunts Fae the way he does. And it's, like, 2 sentences long.
Yeah.
So it's really, like, while it is central to the story, it doesn't feel like the author cares that much.
Yeah, I think this is literally just to figure out what happens to, like, the servants and the automatons that they were talking about. Like, it's yeah. Right.
So, essentially he tells her that him, Drosselmeyer, and the girl's father used to actually hunt together when they were younger.
Which I kind of thought would be a bigger deal, because it's like, why did their father stop? Like,
yeah, nope, don't need to know any of that.
Yeah, it just I don't know. Yep.
So he tells his story first. He says that 2 of his younger sisters were taken and replaced by changelings who tore his parents apart. And I'm like, were they separate times, same time? Like, it just seems weird.
Were they twins?
Yeah.
Because you could say that.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
But they didn't say
that.
So then Clara, he says, your father watched a pair of Seelie Fae lure his parents and brother into, like, a dance circle, and drugged them and raped them over and over, which is super fun.
Yeah.
And then Claire tells him that he may have started hunting wicked Fae, like, to get revenge, but eventually he's grown to like it, and he has stopped discriminating, meaning Like, he stopped only going after Wicked Fae. Now he's just going after anybody. And he has no idea, like, what they've done.
Yeah.
And he admits, like, oh, yeah, maybe. And she's like, how did you even get Lear? And he says he opened a portal in his garden and that it was just solely for vanity. Like, he was just reading a book. Like Lear was. And it wanted some peace and quiet and alone time. But Drosselmeyer saw him and thought, Prince of Fae, great addition to my collection.
My lucky day.
So, he then admits that he used a tracking spell to find them using hair from their hairbrushes. And he has a map that showed their locations. Now Clara's been found, so it's only showing Louisa's location. And he said, oh, look, she's like nearby in the ravine. But then he looks at the note, and it's a straight-up Marauders map, and it shows, like, Louisa, like, coming towards them really quickly.
Love
and, like,
that.
we know why. But she doesn't know why. And Drosselmeyer's like, oh, shit, we have to go, because if the prince gets here, he's gonna fucking kill me.
Yeah. Well, which is kind of funny because he's like, sorry I left you guys, but also now he's like, oh, the prince is coming with her? We have to leave her. Fuck her.
But, like, at the same time, like, I understand why he maybe doesn't care that much. Like, he doesn't know them.
Yes, I get that, but it is just kind of funny to be like,
yeah.
Fuck you guys.
So Clara just says, like, no. Like, I'm a grown-ass adult. I am not going with you.
Yeah.
And essentially, like, she's like, I'm gonna stay here with Finn. And then she tells him that if he doesn't break the curse, she'll just take him to the unending pool herself to, like, drop him in. So, like...
Which I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That could happen.
Well, I mean, especially if there's no, like, evil fae anymore.
Yeah.
So, Drosselmeyer sort of, like, thinks maybe she's been spelled. But she's like, no, I haven't been. And then she just does, like, a sappy little, like, moment of, like, Finn sees all of me, even the parts I'm too afraid to show. And I'm like, in other words, your sex fiend's part? Because that's, what other part is there? We don't know. But she essentially just says, like, the Fae have wronged you. You, in turn, have wronged the Fae. Like, it's time to stop now. Like, it's time to give it up.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, it is. And then she says, if you cooperate and, like, stick around until Louisa gets here and, like, stop hunting Fae, then I'll give you this, like, the Rat King's scepter.
Wild choice.
Well, like, is it really hers to give away?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So it's odd that she's, like, making that executive decision.
Yeah.
But okay. Whatever floats your boat, I guess.
Yep.
So he's like, this sounds good. I'll do it. And then he immediately takes the curse off of Finn. So... immediately, Finn conjures him and Clara a matching outfit.
Yeah.
Because they need to be matchy-matchy.
So funny.
So, they go outside to wait for Louisa and Lear, assuming that Louisa is coming with Lear really fast. And Clara's like, how are they going so fast? And Finn is like, I'll leave it as a surprise. And turns out the surprise is Lear's a dragon.
Yeah.
So Louisa, like, I guess Lear lands as a dragon. Louisa gets off his back, hugs Clara, and just tells her that, like, Lear decimated the entire Unseelie army, and, like, there's no one left. So, like, now he plans on doing the same thing here. But, I don't know. I guess they tell him in advance that, like, hey, we don't need you to, like, light fire to everybody because everybody's been cursed.
Yeah.
So...
Also, some of these people aren't the worst.
Yeah.
Like, there's the concubines, and, like...
Yeah.
Maybe we should care about some people? Nope.
Maybe. So, Lear then sees Drosselmeyer and is like, oh, you're dead meat. Because he kidnapped her. But Clara just tells him not to. That he's agreed to free the captives in his home. And that he saved them, defeated the Rat King, and he did all that in exchange for, like, keeping his life. And, I don't know. This just felt weird.
Yeah.
So Lear then transforms from a dragon to a person, and approaches Drosselmeyer and asks him why he should spare his life. And I don't really like this because Clara did say, like, hey, just stick around, just talk to him. Like, if you talk to Lear, then he'll let you go. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But then for Lear to be like, why should I save you? And it's like, Clara already, like, offered him, like, clemency. So you threatening him is not really showing that her word is worth much.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So then we move on to Louisa's point of view. And she's like, haha, he's just teasing Drosselmeyer. He was always gonna let him live. But, like, he does make him beg for a little bit. And then they strike a deal. And her and Lear, like, talk a little bit about, like, I guess Drosselmeyer and Finn go back inside to, like, round up any of the concubines or something. I don't know.
I guess anybody. Well, yeah, I guess maybe some people aren't all awful. Like that person with the green pill.
Yeah.
Maybe they're saving that person.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
It would be nice. So her and Lear just talk a little bit. And, like, of course, they discuss all the sex they're gonna have.
Oh, is this where the thing I texted you about happens?
Well, yeah, because she's essentially asking him about all his different forms. Like, all his different animal forms. And then she asks him what happens if he were to come in his giant form. Like, would it be a river of semen? Great. I hate it.
Yep.
So, yeah. So then she's like, I can't wait to experiment with all the different forms with you. And he's like, ooh, naughty. And then he goes to talk to the prisoners that they've gotten from the basement. So then after that, Louisa and Clara connect. And Louisa tells Clara that she's staying. And, like, her and Lear have worked everything out and is like, I'm staying, are you?
Well, it's just funny because she was literally like, he doesn't actually want you to stay. He just wants your body. And now she's like, I'm staying.
Because I just want his body.
Yeah. It's a good point. Good point.
So then Drosselmeyer leaves through a portal he created. And he promises to return the prisoner soon. And, like, I thought that's, like, a couple of days. Like, everyone's gonna go back about their business, and then, like, every so often, a fae will, like, trickle through the portal. But no, he literally meant, like, a couple hours or something. Like, same day. They just wait around and just wait for the turned fae from his home to be sent back through the portal. And, like, Lear's friend, I don't even remember her name, was among them.
Yeah.
Alira or something like that.
Yeah.
Eventually, Drosselmeyer also comes back through the portal. And he's got the girl's luggage. So, like, he's just dropping
It's just like he's
off.
Just getting the fuck rid of them.
It's like, I don't need you.
It's funny.
So, eventually, like, well, not eventually. So, after they've returned, after he's, like, brought them their luggage, Clara tells him to keep their inheritance since they won't need it because they're marrying rich fae men. And I'm like, way to, like, what's that word?
Objectify?
Yes, thank you. Way to objectify these men.
Yeah.
And Finn is like, what? You think I'm rich, like, just because I do blah, 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 blah? And he's like, well, you'd be right, I'm very rich.
Stupid.
So then Drosselmeyer tells the prince that, like, you know, once he passes through the portal on his side, he's gonna shatter it so no one can use it again. And then Louisa tells him that, like, remember, like, he didn't do it alone, but, like, he did do it. And, oh, sorry. I wrote that down wrong. So, Louisa and Lear are talking. And he's like, we did it, but you helped. And she's like, nope, I didn't really help. You did all of it. Like, of course they're sharing, like, they gotta be humble.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess he's like, I'll break my portal once I get back to the other side, and essentially, like, Lear essentially says, like, now we have to work on stabilizing the kingdom, and after that, he's gonna make her his queen.
Woo.
Yeah. So, the next day, Lear is actually crowned king, and at the end of that ceremony, he announces that Louisa is gonna be his queen. So what they do with the cursed Unseelie in the hovel, they literally gather them all up and, like, drop them in the Unseelie territory. Because he was like, I recognize that they didn't all do
terrible things, I guess.
like, they didn't all do terrible things, these Unseelies. So, like, let's leave it for the Unseelies to deal with. And he's like, they didn't all want a war. Like, some of them are content with their land on their side. So then Louisa is thinking a little bit about that and how, like, he made that decision, Lear did, without her.
Yeah.
And she's like, he made that decision, I will abide by him and not, like, challenge his opinion. She's like, but once we're married, I'm gonna be helping.
Yeah.
So, but then she also is like, I guess it's sort of like, this is her sort of sign-off, I want to say. Mm-hmm. Like, this is her being like, oh, like, he's gonna do this, and I'll do this to make him okay. And I'm gonna do this, so he's gonna do this so that I'm okay. So, like, she's talking about, like, again, it's her final, like, send-off for this relation. Not send-off for the relationship, but, like,
well, it seems like it might be based on what we read about what the next books are about. But yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's sort of their final, like, this is us getting there happily ever after.
Yes, yeah.
And she's like, we balance each other. Like, I'll be this and he'll be that. And he'll be this and I'll be that. And she was like, and through it all, we get to have sex all the time, whatever way we want. And I'm like, of course that's her final fucking thought.
Yeah.
Like, why can't you just not think about sex for 2 seconds?
Not possible.
Yeah. Anyway, so then we move to Clara's point of view. Last chapter of the book. So, if Louisa's point of view was like the day after the coronation, this is weeks after the coronation. And she said Lear and Finn have been gone actually more often than they've been around because they're off trying to, like, clear the Seelie court of monsters that, like, snuck in during the Rat King's reign.
Yeah. And
Clara and Louisa have actually been staying, like, in the palace in the royal city. And Clara's also, like, been painting. And I don't know if you would classify it as for fun.
No, for money.
But, like,
yeah,
is Lear paying her?
Oh, but this chick pays her at the end.
Oh, I didn't read that bit.
Oh, she does. Yeah, she does commissions.
Oh. Anyway, so Lear, like, essentially gave her a whole wing of the palace and said, paint the story of, like, the Rat King and Drosselmeyer, and, like, just the history of how this happened.
Yes, sorry. I think there's a scene later that I'm thinking of where she is getting paid.
It's like a bonus scene.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's actually the fucking next book. Sorry. I don't know if she's getting paid for this.
Yeah. So, she's currently, like, painting, and it's really funny because they talk about how, like, she's thinking that, like, Finn made the servants disturb her with water every 2 hours, and, like, if she's not asleep at midnight, then they gotta put her to bed, and, like, all these rules. And I'm like, dude, are you, like, her mother? What are you?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'd be so annoyed if somebody interrupted me every 2 hours.
Especially if you're doing something that, like, you really are into at the time. So she is painting when Louisa comes in and says, I want to take you somewhere. And Louisa, like, starts looking at some of the paintings, and then she just randomly apologizes to Clara for the way she's treated her over the years. And I'm like, when? Like, when did that storyline come up? Apart from Louisa telling her that shitty thing about Finn and only wanting her to stay because he was in, like, the glow of an orgasm. Like,
which, as shitty as that is,
sometimes it's true.
Sometimes it's true. Yeah.
But, like, I don't remember seeing this anywhere else.
Yeah. And you'd think she was literally like, I'm gonna die and not be able to tell my sister I'm sorry. You'd think she would have had this conversation before now.
Yeah, but also you'd think we would have gotten a hint of it at some point before now.
Yes.
That's what I'm annoyed at.
Yeah.
So Clara forgives her and then tells her that she is also sorry because she judged her for her sex life. And I'm like, again, when did we hear that?
Yeah, because I thought the whole point was she didn't judge her for her sex life.
Yeah, it just seems like they wanted to make the, like, resolution much more like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Yeah. I don't like it.
Fair.
So, they go out and about walking through the city. And Louisa tells Clara all about her, like, future plans to train and maybe become a captain and be an advisor to Lear on strategy because she seems to have a knack for it. And they're, like, walking the streets, and then she tells Clara that her and Finn will be happy with their new spells and sweet shop. And then she's like, oh no, that should have been a surprise. And then she's like, oh, there's also going to be an art gallery. So essentially he's going to open, like, a candy store and put an art gallery in it, which sounds weird.
Yeah.
And then we find out that Lear and Finn are home from all their travel, and they're not going to leave again for a very long time.
Yay.
So they go to Clara's new shop, and Finn and Lear are there, and they reunite with the girls, and they kiss, and then everything is right with the world. And that's the end.
Hey again.
Yeah, finally. This is one book I'm really glad to be over.
Yeah, it wasn't what we were expecting, I guess, which is what happens sometimes, but when you say you're a nutcracker retelling, you expect it to be more to the source material than just taking the names and changing everything else.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know. I just wish the writing had been better, if I'm being completely honest.
It's fair.
But I guess it's done. We've learned to do more research before
picking a book.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, you learn something every day.
So
that's where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, I guess that's gonna wrap it up for this week and for this year, which is fun. as always, if you want to get in touch with us and share your thoughts on anything you heard in our episodes, or if you have any book suggestions, please reach out to us by email at coffeeandcoread@gmail.com or on Instagram or Facebook at coffeeandcoread and coffee.coread on TikTok.
So, next week we will be doing our 2025 Top 10 Countdown. So, yeah, make sure to follow along. And if you're enjoying our chats, don't forget to follow, rate, and review wherever you get our content. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you on the next page.